burning question is, are INFPs really the pushovers they are made out to be? We're about to find out. In the wild, they're often spotted writing poetry in coffee shops, crying at commercials, or adopting their 47th straight cat. But what really makes an INFP tick? Let's break it down, shall we? First, let's address the elephant in the room. Or should I say the stuffed animal in the room? Because heaven forbid an INFP would keep a real elephant captive. INFPs are known for being idealistic to a fault, empathetic to the point of emotional osmosis, more indecisive than a pendulum with anxiety, creative enough to imagine 50 shades of beige, and yes, potentially more pliable than a rubber band in a sauna. But are they really the pushovers we all come to know and gently nudge out of the way? Let's dive deeper into the INFP psyche. INFPs are the dreamers of the MBTI world. They're the ones who look at the cloud and see not just a fluffy white mass, but an entire civilization of cloud people living out their wispy lives. But here's where it gets interesting. While INFPs might seem like they are perpetually lost in the la-la land, they've got an inner core of steel when it comes to their values. Sure, they might let you cut in the line because they're imagining your entire life story and they're feeling sorry for you. But try to make them compromise on something they truly believe in. You've got a better chance of convincing a cat to take a bath. Now, let's address the pushover stereotype head on. Why do people think INFPs are pushovers? Well, it might have something to do with their natural inclination to see the best in everyone, even that guy who keeps borrowing, quote unquote, their lunch from the office fridge, avoid conflict like it's plague, accommodate others' feelings, sometimes at the expense of their own plans or desires, take criticism to heart, even if it's coming from their cat who's clearly just hungry. Struggle with saying no, because what if that yes leads to a life-changing adventure? But here's the twist, guys. These very traits that make INFP seem like a pushover are actually their superpowers in disguise. Let's break it down. Seeing the best in everyone? That's not naivety, that's advanced level optimism. In a world that's often cynical, INFPs bring a refreshing perspective. They're the ones who will believe in you when you stop believing in yourself. Just don't take advantage of it, or you will unleash their rarely seen but terrifying disappointment phase. Avoiding conflict? Sure, it can sometimes lead to unresolved issues, but more often it means INFPs are masters of diplomacy. They're the peacekeepers, the mediators, the ones who can smooth over a tense situation with a well-timed joke or a heartfelt observation. They're not avoiding conflict, they are preventing World War III in the break room over the last donut. Accommodating others' feelings? This isn't a weakness, it's emotional intelligence on steroids. INFPs have an almost supernatural ability to read the room and adjust accordingly. They are the chameleons of the social world, adapting to make other people comfortable. It's not about being a pushover, it's about creating harmony. And let's be real, we could all use a little more harmony in our lives. Taking criticisms to heart? While it can sometimes lead to unnecessary self-doubt, it also means INFPs are constantly striving to improve themselves. They are their own harshest critics, which drives them to excel in their passions. Just be gentle when giving feedback, or you might send them into a spiral of existential questioning that might end up with them considering a new career as a hermit poet. Struggling with saying no? Okay, this one can be a bit of a problem, but it also means INFPs are open to new experiences, always ready to lend a helping hand and often find themselves on unexpected adventures. Sure, sometimes those adventures involve helping a guy in your office do his work for the third time, but other times it leads to life-changing opportunities. Now let's address the million-dollar question. Can an INFP be both sensitive and strong? Absolutely. In fact, it's their sensitivity that is their strength. Think about it. Martin Luther King Jr., a suspected INFP, used his empathy and idealism to change the course of history. Princess Diana, another possible INFP, turned her emotional depth into a force for global compassion. John Lennon, you guessed it, most likely an INFP, imagined a better world and then wrote the soundtrack for it. These aren't pushovers. These are world changers who use their INFP traits as catalysts for transformation. Picture this: an INFP pushed to the brink. Their values? Challenge. Their boundaries? Crossed. Their favorite coffee shop? Closed down to make way for soulless corporate chain. This is where the sleeping dragon awakens. When an INFP's core values are threatened, they transform from a cuddly kitten into a force of nature. They will write scathing poetry that will make Shakespeare weep. They will organize protests with signs so creative and guilt-inducing that you will feel bad for just existing. They will give you the silent treatment so profound you will question the nature of sound itself. You see, an INFP's value system is their own personal Death Star. It might look all peace and love on the outside, but mess with it and you will unleash a power that can destroy entire worldviews. Remember that time in high school when the quiet, artsy kid suddenly stood up to the bully, leaving everyone speechless? Chances are that was an INFP whose values were pushed too far. They went from zero to hero faster than you can say personality type. But fear not, INFPs. For those of you still struggling with your inner doormat, I present an INFP survival guide, how to avoid being a pushover without losing your whimsical charm. 1. Boundaries are your friends. Your empathy is a gift, but it's okay to put up some emotional guardrails. Practice saying, I care about you, but I also need to care for myself. It's not selfish, it's self-preservation. 2. Your feelings are a valid GPS. Trust your emotions. They're not just random fireworks, they are a sophisticated navigation system. If something feels off, pay attention. Your intuition is trying to tell you something. 3. Embrace the power of the pause. When faced with a request or decision, take a breath. You don't have to respond immediately. Say, let me think about that and I'll get back to you. It's not avoidance, it's just a thoughtful consideration. 4. Your imagination is your superpower. Don't downplay your creative ideas. The world needs your unique perspective. Share your visions, no matter how wild they seem. Remember, today's crazy idea is tomorrow's innovation. 5. Reframe people-pleasing. Instead of trying to make everyone happy, focus on being authentically you. Your genuine self is a gift to the world. By being true to your values, you inspire others to do the same. Are INFPs pushovers? Sometimes. Are they secret badasses waiting to be unleashed? Absolutely. Are they complex individuals that defy simple categorization and deserve to be appreciated for their unique blend of sensitivity and strength? 100%. INFPs might bend, but they rarely break. They are like a rubber band. They can take a lot of pressure, but push them too far and they'll snap right back. So the next time you meet an INFP, remember, behind that dreamy exterior lies a core of steel, a heart of gold, and a mind full of ideas that could change the world. Treat them with kindness, respect their boundaries, and who knows, you might just find yourself swept up in the magical world of possibilities. And remember, whether you are an INFP or any other mystical combination of letters, you are unique just like everybody else. Thank you. Goodbye.